And that's why within our partners, this is the Jesuit Refugee Service Europe, Sant'Egidio and Bosco International, we have put together this event, this little project, to talk about resilience stories and to talk about the good practices of welcoming people from abroad. And to begin with, I would like to introduce you to Tetiana Romanchenko. She's gonna tell us her personal story of resilience. She comes from Ukraine. She has a PhD as a university professor, and she's an expert in digital marketing. She already has come to the table to moderate a movie about matriarchat, and we are very happy to have her back with us tonight. Thank you, Tetiana.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see faces actually, because nowadays we have only screens. So yeah, after COVID and during COVID, I was teaching at the university, and it was terrible. This experience for me. Not everyone is happy to see the black screen and to talk. So I'm glad to see eyes and faces. I would like to meet you a little bit. So you are also not refugee, but probably moved to Belgium. You are not born in Belgium. Okay, so few people are born in Belgium. Great. Yeah, so thank you. But okay, two hands. Second question is about, so to give you my perspective of what I experience here. I would like to know, are you doers or thinkers? So the example is simple. You are on the bus, so you are waiting for the bus, and you see that it's 15 minutes. It will be in 15 minutes. So, but you know it's approximately 16, 17 minutes to go there walking. Will you go there, or will you stay? Who will go? Okay. Thank you for sharing. So I am in Belgium since March 2022. And I'm very grateful to all Belgians I met. It was my first time actually, because in Ukraine we like Europe, we like traveling, we like go there. But personally, I like more to come back. I like more to bring this experience back to my home and to say, hey, in Europe they are already there. We are not there yet, so let's make some moves. And then I'm also very passionate about my city. My home city is Kiev. It's the capital of Ukraine. I compare always, it's in our nature, I compare always my Kiev with any other city. I'm confident in my city. Here in Brussels, well, I walk, but it's not the same. I don't have memories, you know, like in Kiev. Here I was little, I was with my mom. Here I was like not adult, but almost, and so we made some crazy stuff. And all those memories help me to have boundaries. So I'm here, you see, in national colors. It's also my boundary. I really need it because I'm 2,000 kilometers away. And it was not my intention to move. It's something that I was not planned. So I didn't take my country and all my stuff with me. I'm here with my 2 kids. And basically, it's the reason why I'm here. So, to give you the
moment in your life you have to change. Our body is changing all the time. And we are here from different countries, different backgrounds, and that is what we do. We share our lives, we change lives even with people that we meet. And that is what we do in Austin. We have a project for young people. We start there in 1988, the feast of the Bosco. We start a new project in this area of Belgium. And the meaning was also to be a
and with it also a Christian approach. And in Sant'Egidio, so we started the program called Humanitarian Corridors. And with this program, I will explain it very briefly, people from countries in war can travel to Europe in a legal and safe way. We established this program in an attempt to take actions in the face of many deaths, mainly in the Mediterranean Sea in southern Europe. We believed, as a Christian organization, as part of civil society, that we had to act by creating safe passages for people in third countries bordering those from which the refugees are flying. For example, being Lebanon and Pakistan, the two countries we're working here in Belgium. And the people we're working with, or potential beneficiaries, are above all particularly fragile people, meaning single women, children, elderly people, sick people, disabled, but also victims of torture. Our program is now running in 3 countries, in Italy, in France, and in Belgium. In Belgium, we are the smallest of the 3 programs, but we are very proud of this, that we managed to do this in this small country as we are. In a couple of those, we had the elections, a lot has been spoken about this, and migration is always one of these main or these painful issues. And then I hear also a lot of politicians speaking around migration with issues of security problems and problems of capacity of housing. Questions like, can we trust them? Who is going to pay for this? And the field is full, very popular sentence in Flanders. And many of these issues can, in my opinion, be solved if we dare to rethink the theme around welcoming and integration. The 2 things that Sant'Egidio thinks is very important. Because in our project, once a family arrives here, those families are accompanied along the path of integration by support groups. Support groups of Sant'Egidio, but also of our partners. We don't do this alone, we have a lot of partners. So all the people that arrive here receive a lot of friendship, of financial support, of guidance to find work, and education and legal assistance. And everything we do, our sponsorship, comes from us, from civil society, from Sant'Egidio, from other partners, because we believe that it's not just the state that has to deal with issues around refugees, around migration. Civil society and the model of the humanitarian corridors is based and is linked on the concept of sponsorship. In this formula, this is my main topic of today, citizens, associations, non-profit associations can have to work together, have the opportunity to intervene in the migration problematic as it is created by the state. And we believe that we can therefore give a solution to what we believe is mainly a problem of welcoming and integration. I was a stranger and you took me in. And this is actually basically the idea of what our scholarship program is built on. I also believe it's a Christian way of taking care of your next of kin, of creating communities of people with good intention throughout society. The program of our humanitarian corridors is not just positive, a positive story for the beneficiaries, for the refugee families, but also for all the people involved, also for the local civil society involved. And this is, I think, one of the most beautiful things, and it's also happening today. It's because of refugees, of the poor strangers, of the poor refugees, that together we are here sitting, working together as different Christian organizations. And I think that's beautiful. Thank you.
Contribution, the idea of encounter, the fact project called Change Environment, and she will explain us a little bit what it is.
Thank you, Claudia. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tetiana, and I'm the coordinator of Change Environment Project, which is one of the 4 school-raised awareness projects of Jesuit. With this project, we wanted to move forward and focus more on the impact of environmental change, also climate change and human displacement. And we embarked in this journey with 9 partners from 7 countries, from both Europe but also from the Global South. We have 2 partners from Ghana and Kenya. The projects follows a bit the change methodology, the generous change methodology, where we want not only to foster students' critical thinking, but also we want to foster empathy. Also, we want to promote encounters. Indeed, in our project, we also bring refugees in the classroom so they can have also discussion with the students, and also students can learn from them and learn about their journey. Also, within the project, we want also to foster and
workshop with indigenous people, with the people most affected by climate change, because here we start noticing things already when with the climate changing, maybe a little bit. And but there are already places in the world, especially in the global south, where people are already suffering way more, and people even have to move because of climate change. So I was in a workshop at the Global UN event, and what I noticed that when I wasn't used to this, when people are talking about climate, it is very often very factual, and people are sharing things about how things are developing in the world. And in the workshop at the UN where I was, people were actually crying. So there were people, indigenous people in the room who were crying. And I was so surprised by that. I could feel the emotion myself as well. And what I noticed is that people weren't really reaching out to the people that were crying. So people were just continuing their more factual stories, while I also saw people crying in the room. So that was very confusing to me. And after that, I made the decision to see if I could do something for these people. So in the international climate movement, there are all sorts of digital apps where you can communicate with each other. And in one of these apps, I posted a message, very simple, like, hey, is there anyone I could support or any cause I can work with? And I got a response from a climate refugee called Romina Paulette. She is from Kenya. She lives around Lake Victoria, and when she was 5 years old, she had to move because of climate change, because the water levels were rising, and they were rising through her house, and she had to move. And we started working together. I started learning from her stories, and I think the most important thing that I learned from her is that when you look at Lake Victoria, it's the state of the lake is very bad. So the water is sometimes even poisoned, and people are having really big, especially women, are having really great difficulties in making a living because they were used to fish, but right now the fish is disappearing. So that's all very sad. Also learned is that the pollution in the lake was caused by companies from the global north, so from Europe. So one of the biggest threats in the lake is the water hyacinth, and the water hyacinth it's an invasive species of plants, and it was actually introduced by Belgian organizations in the 80s of the last century, and then it might have been a smart move, but in the long term it seemed to be a very bad move because it's invasive now, the plants are everywhere, and they are basically removing the fish. What is very important, and that's something I learned from Romina as well, is that when you share these facts to people, people become a little bit defensive, they become even a little bit ashamed, and sometimes even people, they freeze, they start like, they keep hanging in like, oh, everything is so bad. And I even noticed this under young climate activists, that when they were talking about the situation in Lake Victoria, and when we shared the stories with climate activists, nothing really happened to them because they were only becoming more angry and maybe even more desperate about the situation. And from Romina, together with Romina, we decided that we wanted to change this. So what we started to do is we started connecting people from the communities around the lake with people and young people, especially in Europe. And we started to offering them opportunities to actually really do something about the situation in the lake. And we did this by connecting the community. So it was not, we also, of course, we offered some education in schools and also in safe spaces for children. But the most important thing is that we inspired them to use their talents in order to make a difference for the communities around Lake Victoria. And we started doing this in 2022. We're doing this now for don't think of activities for young people. We don't create the activities. We ask young people what they want to do, what they want to achieve in their life, what their dreams are. And we do that on both sides. So we do that with the Lake Victoria communities, but also from the Pale region. It's a small region in the Netherlands where I'm from. We do that with children. We ask them what their dreams are, and if they want to become video makers, we challenge them to make videos.
of Sant'Egidio, and I met Sant'Egidio when I was very young, when I was 16 years old. So for basically over half my life, I've been part of a group of people who are working together to accomplish or to help other people. And I think that's very, very important to, if you want to help refugees, if you want to help other people or deal with very bad situations, that you're not alone. That's why we gather also groups of people around refugees, because one person it's just alone. But if you are together, if you're together in bad situations, then it feels less bad than when you're alone. So I think, first of all, it's my faith that strengthens me, but second of all, it's because I know I'm not alone. And yeah,
Yeah, I want to say something. Maybe everyone know about the triple W, and it's no World Wide Web, but it's to ask what went well today, and it's also to keep focus on the positive things that we can discover in the normal life, because sometimes we expect for a big change. We expect that everything went well. Sometimes it's not possible, but when we keep the focus what went well today for me or for you, we can keep also faith. We can keep also hope for tomorrow and to say it's possible to make a change. Maybe not for all the problems in the world, but we can make small change that can make different things for you. And that is also with many stories from young people who say, what was okay today? Oh, that was nice. What was the nice point today in your life? Oh, it's true. There is something positive.
we're now working with two active corridors, one from Lebanon, one from Pakistan. Lebanon is with Syrian refugees, and Pakistan is with Afghan refugees. So always people who are already refugees in the country they come from. And for Syria and Libya, we never managed to open a corridor here. So we tried, but it's very difficult because Belgium does not have an embassy in those countries. So there is another story with Italy. Italy, or Programm in Italy, and Sant'Egidio Italy, did manage to open a humanitarian corridor from Syria, also from Afghanistan, also from Libya, because they have bigger resources, they have better connections. I don't know, but yeah, it's something we really wanted to do, but we never found opportunity to do this. And that maybe also answered the question about Palestine. So Israel Palestine is not mentioned in our protocol with the government because we set up this agreement with the government in 2022. So then back then there was no problem there. So we never asked it to be included. So and I know the Sant'Egidio Italy did manage to get a lot of people out of Palestine as well, but it was through resettlement. So it's a program that is quite similar to humanitarian corridors. And there Sant'Egidio worked together with the Italian government with resettlement to get a lot of people out of Palestine. So we are in Belgium also willing to do this, but it's just so that here in Belgium our government did not manage to find a way. So we're a little bit linked or limited to what's written in our agreement with the government, but we definitely are interested in opening more humanitarian corridors and in working together with more partners. Hope that's covering it all.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for all your questions and thoughts. I've been told that there is some interesting snacks downstairs for some informal networking. So full of all the stories of all we heard, we can now go and fill a little bit our stomachs as well. And thank you. There is a last moment of advertising.
Now I try to be a little bit briefly. We want to welcome you all to our Change Environment event. It's happening next Tuesday, 18th in the morning at the Migration Museum of Brussels. We will be sharing our stories. We will have also girls with us, other partners from the Jesuit network, and also we will have students presenting their initiatives, and we will share with you the project results. So downstairs you will find the brochure of the event with the QR code that you can scan, register to the event, and download the agenda. So I am hoping